I already explained blood is a part of connective tissue, and blood is a connective tissue and specialized connective tissue, and you can say that the blood is a fluid connective tissue. Okay. And then we go in muscular tissue. Then muscular tissue is very important muscle. It helps in more locomotion and movement. And there are three kind of muscles present in the human body: skeletal, smooth, and cardiac muscle. Today we will explain in the muscular skeletal system. Okay. And the next tissue is nervous tissue. Nervous tissue is a very important tissue because it helps in transmission of signals from one part of your body to another part of your body with the help of chemical synapses as well as electrical synapses. There are two synapses. We will study about these synapses in the later chapters and in the nervous system chapter. Okay, one by one we will study about it. Then we study about these are all about tissues, and then we study about some basic term like a cartilage, tendon, ligaments. And there are so many cartilage: hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage, tendon, bone to bone, sorry, muscle to bone, and ligament, bone to bone connection. These are the some basic terms. And today we are going to explain. Today we are going to study about the muscular system, muscular skeletal system. This is the first system we are going to study about it. Okay, skeletal muscular system. Skeletal plus muscles helps in movement, locomotion of the body. Just remember, without muscle, only musculars cannot help in the locomotion and it cannot help in the movement. But combination of skeletal and muscular works together to allow movement. Okay, for the movement, for the healthy movement, for the stability, for the equilibrium, we need both things, skeletal plus muscular. Okay, these are the small basic terms. Wait, let me explain F5. Okay. These are the small basic terms: skeleton, muscular system. Skeleton composed of like bones, your appendicular skeleton, your axial skeleton, all kind of bones comes under skeletal system. Muscular system, you will study about different kind of muscles present in your human body. Okay, and then in the previous classes, in the yesterday classes, we already learned about what is ligament, what is tendon, and all these are in tendons. I already explained tendons have an attachment of muscles to bone. Okay, there are different kind of muscles. Skeletal muscle, but they have skeletal muscles mainly helps in locomotion. Okay, they are present at movable joints. Okay, muscles always work in antagonist pair. Okay, what is antagonist? Anybody? It is an English word, but mainly used in human anatomy and physiology. Some hormones also working as antagonist. They are opposite in effects. Some are protagonistic. Okay, yes. Any difference? What is the meaning of antagonistic? What is the meaning of antagonistic?
Ma'am, it is opposite or like negative uh, characteristic.
Characteristic. If something is enhancing the effect, then other thing is will diminishes its effect. Okay, मतलब both are working in an opposite direction. So like insulin and glucagon. Insulin is helps in maintaining the glucose homeostasis. It will decrease the blood sugar, but glucagon is also a hormone, but it will increase the blood sugar. Both are working in an antagonist. One is decreasing the blood sugar, and one is increasing the blood sugar. Okay. Skeletal helps in muscular movement, and muscles helps in contraction of the muscle. One by one, we will study about it. So the functions performed by a skeletal system is support. It provides shape. It provides protection. It provides protection to the internal organ. It helps in the movement with the help of tendon, with the help of muscles. Yeah, it helps in the storage of minerals. Okay, like a mineral, like a calcium, phosphorus, and lipids, as we already explained. I already explained the previous classes. We can store fat as a storage material in the adipose tissue. Adipose tissue is a part of connective tissue. Okay, and it helps in the blood cell production. Blood cell production, we have bone marrow. Bone is a part, also bone is also a part of specialized connective tissue. In the middle of bone, there is a bone marrow. There are two kind of bone marrow. One is yellow bone marrow, another one is red bone marrow. In infants, in kids, there is a large production of RBC, but as gradually it will convert it into yellow bone marrow. Yellow bone marrow is due to deposition of fat. Okay, and blood cell production always occur in the bone marrow, but in infants it always started in yolk sac and further it move into the bone marrow. Okay. Skeletal system. In the skeletal system, we will study about axial skeletal system, appendicular skeletal system. We will study about joints. We about by muscles, ligament. We will study about the motions, range of motions. Okay. Today today we are going to explain the human skeletons. As we know, we have 206 bones. Okay, 206. Okay, one question: how many muscles are present in the human body? Have you any idea? How many muscles are present in human body? I think this question has been asked in the gate. Okay. How many muscles are present in human body? Anybody? Any idea?
Ma'am, 600.
600. Yes. Anybody? And yes. It's about 639 if we are talking about exact number. Okay, if you are not giving exact number, you can say that in the mid of in the range of 600 to 700. Okay, but exact number is 639. It's given in the guided and whole book. Okay, we divide human skeleton into two parts. We have 206 bones. Okay, but in children is sometimes considered, in infants it's considered as 31310 bones. Okay, the bones gradually convert, and then in adults there are 206 bones. Okay, we divide skeleton into two parts. One is axial skeleton and the second one is appendicular skeleton. Axial skeleton, it means the present along the axis of body, and appendicular is along the girdles. Okay, outside the axials. Axial skeleton contains 180 bones. Oh, sorry, 180 now. No, 188. Only 80 bones. Okay, and appendicular skeleton includes 126 bones. As human skeleton, as we know, human skeleton is an internal skeleton, and that serve as a framework for the body. Okay, as I already told you, these are also fibrous connective tissue like tendons and ligaments. Okay, and the human skeletal consists two principal subdivisions, and there one is axial skeleton and second one is appendicular skeleton. Axial skeleton consists of 80 bones and comprising the vertebral column and spine and much of the skulls and vertebrae, ribs, sternum, hyoid bones. And appendicular skeleton consists of 126 bone and comprising pelvic and pectoral. Pelvic, sometimes students get confused between these two. Pelvic is always related to hip bone. Okay, as you seen here, hip bones. Pectoral is always related to soldier's bone. Okay, your shoulder bones. And pelvic is related to hip bone. Okay, and axial skeletal, and we divide axial skeletal further in the hyoid bone, ribs, sternums, and just remember it. Okay. Half of the bones in hands and feet, just remember it. Upper extremity, shoulders, girds, arm and hands, and lower extremity, pelvic, girdle, legs and feet. Okay, there is a pelvic appendicular skeleton. We divide into two parts. One is pelvic and one is pectoral. Okay, there are types of bones. There are different kind of bones, like long bones. There are some short bone. There are sesamoid bones. Okay, there are some flat bones. There are some irregular bones. As their name defines, long bones means they are longer than their width. Okay, and they're shaped when like a bones of arms, legs. Okay, short bones like a cube shape. They are very small in a size, like a wrist bone. Okay, Sesamoid bones, they are short bone, they are have enough within tendons, muscles to bone attachment. Okay, they're like a small bone, like a patella. Okay, what is patella? Anybody? Anybody? What is patella?
Ma'am, it's near the knee joint.
Okay, patella is like a kneecap. Okay, we can say that patella is a kneecap. After there are some flat bone, flat like a thin, flat curve, mainly sternum, rib, skull. Mostly skull bones are flat bone. Irregular bones, matlab they are no any definite shape. They do not fit into other classes like a hip bones, vertebrae. These are all about irregular bones. Okay, there are different kind of vertebrae as we will study in the locomotion chapter, like vertebrae, cervical vertebrae, thoracic vertebrae, lumbar vertebrae. Okay, there are different sacral vertebrae, coccygeal vertebrae. There are 5 different kind of vertebrae in the human body. Cervical number of cervical is 7, thoracic 12, lumbar 5, sacral and coccygeal also 5, but they are fused. Okay, coccygeal as a tail. First cervical vertebrae is atlas, its sports head, and second vertebrae is pivot to turn head. Okay, just remember, if someone asks us question and we say no, verbally no, but sometimes we gave them signal by just moving head no. Okay, is this due to atlas or axis movement? We say yes. The yes or no movement of the head is only due to these two cervical vertebrae, atlas and axis. That's why we call yes or no bone, atlas and axis. Okay. Any doubt? Thoracic vertebrae, no need to remember what they are. Different kind of joints: ball and socket joints, pivot joints, saddle joint, hinge joint, ellipsoids, plane product. These are the small joints which have to remember in the. Okay, now these are the term about bone cells. Okay, before going to bones, I'm going to explain it later. All things in a briefing way. In a muscular system, we consist 2 different system. One is muscular, one is skeletal system. In skeletal system, muscle system, we study about three kind of muscles, and skeletal system we includes bones of the muscles and their joints. Okay. In skeletal system, we will consider about pelvic, exoskeleton and all appendicular skeleton. In appendicular skeleton contains 126 bone, includes pectoral or pelvic, and axial skeleton includes 80 bones along your skulls, ribs, sternum, hyoid bone also included in your axial skeleton. Okay, as you know, human skeletal is the body system. Okay, these are composed of bones, cartilage, tendon, ligaments. Okay, and they are essential, as you know, essential for the human body. Just remember, skeletal only make up of 20% of your human body. Okay. Oh, sorry. For personal weight. If you have it 70 kg, and then it's 20% of 70 made by your skeleton. Okay. As I told you, human skeleton is composed of around 280 to 300 bones at the time of birth, but their number will get decreased to 206 by adulthood, because some bones get fused. Okay. Human skeletal, as I told you, human skeletal is divided into 2 parts. One is axial, one is appendicular. Axial skeletal is composed of vertebral column, rib cage. Okay, what is rib cage? Have you any idea? What is rib cage? What include what? Yes, Divya, boliye.
Ma'am, it comprises of the thoracic portion of the body, and it consists of the lungs, the heart.
Rib cage includes only thoracic vertebrae. No any other bone include in the rib cage. Rib cage is comprising by thoracic vertebrae. Okay, and one is sternum, and laterally by ribs. Okay, just remember three things. Rib cage is formed by ventrally by vertebral column, dorsally by sternum, and laterally by ribs. That all three things form rib cage. Okay.
Ma'am, can you say it once more?
Yeah. Rib cage is comprising by vertebral column, chest, breastbone, sternum, and laterally by ribs. Two ribs, we divide ribs into three parts. One is true ribs, false ribs, and floating. True ribs means they are directly attached to the sternum. Directly. There is no any correlation. They are all bones are directly attached to sternum. Okay. Then false ribs, they are not directly attached to sternum, but they are attached to the true ribs. Okay. Floating ribs, they are not directly attached to true ribs and they are not attached to sternum. They are just floating over the kidney. Why they are floating over the kidney? Just to protect kidneys from the external damages. There are different kind of ribs like true ribs, false ribs, and floating ribs. True ribs, we know there are 12 pairs of ribs. Okay, 1 to 7 pair are true ribs, 8, 9, 10 pairs are false ribs, and 2 pairs are 10 and 11 and 12 are pairs are floating ribs. Okay. Two ribs means they are directly attached to one thing. Okay, they are directly attached to sternum. That's why we call it the two ribs. False rib, they are not directly attached to sternum, but they are attached to true ribs. Okay, but floating ribs are not attached to neither attached to true ribs or nor attached to sternum, but they are floating over the kidney just to protect them. Okay, and rib cage is formed by ribs, sternum, and vertebral column. Any doubt?
Clear, ma'am.
It's clear. Okay. Human skeletal is divided into axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. And axial skeleton is formed by vertebral column, rib cage, skull. Okay. And appendicular skeletal is attached to axial skeletal, and it is formed by girdle, two girdle. One is pelvic girdle and another one is pectoral girdle. Okay. You can say that bones of upper and lower limbs. Okay. As I told you, there are 639 muscles in the human body which are responsible for the movement. And there are some joints in the human skeletal. Joints, what are joints? Joints helps in movement of where two and more bones meet, and they helps in movement of the body. As approximate, there are 360 joints in the human body. There are 360 joints. Okay, and if we're talking about muscles, 639. Okay, just remember it. Human body is, I'd say that human body is composed of so many ligaments, so many tendons. As data, there are, I think, 900 ligaments and 4,000 tendons present in human body. Tendons like connection of a bone to bone, and ligaments are a connection of a bone to bone, and ligaments, tendons are attachment of muscle to bone. Okay. And as already told you in the yesterday classes, cartilage is also connective, specialized connective tissue that protects joints and helps in movement. Okay, there are different kind of, and all we study about basic about skeletal muscles. One is skeletal muscle, another one is smooth muscle, and last one is cardiac muscle. As I told in the previous class, is skeletal muscle. Proper characteristic of skeletal muscle is helps in contraction. Okay, they are mainly at helps in locomotion. They have the property to contract. They are different kind of property proteins present in the skeletal system, like actin and myosin. Actin is made up of actin made high band, okay, thin band, and myosin made thick band, we call it A band, an isotropic band. Okay, they have seen contraction, they compose sarcomere, and they are part of a structure and functional unit of contraction. Okay. And skeletal muscle is voluntary. We can control it by own. And smooth muscles are involuntary. They are not stated. There are no bends in smooth muscles. Smooth muscles are present in internal organ, visceral organs. Okay, just remember it. And cardiac muscles are voluntary, but they are no secreted. They have no bands. Okay, but in cardiac muscle they are intercalated disc. Okay, if one muscle get contract, all the muscle will get contracted. Okay, all or none principle. If one will get contract, every cell will get contracted. Okay, if one cell is not contracted, then neither will be contracted. Okay, all and none principle will follow by the cardiac muscle cells. They have, for that they have intercalated disc, they have interconnection. That's why if one cell will get contracted, every cell will get contracted. Okay, these are all about muscles, but just remember it. Cardiac muscle is voluntary but involuntary but stated. Okay, we cannot control cardiac muscle by its own, but they have bends, they have striations. Okay, then now it's all about muscles. Now moving about bone. Bone, as you know, bone is a basic part of human skeleton. We have 206 bones. Okay, and bone is a sometimes students get confused. Bone is a living or non-living tissue. Yes, anybody? Bone living or non-living, or vascular or non-vascular?
Ma'am, it is a living tissue.
And it's a vascular or non-vascular? It's a highly vascular. Beta, because a production of RBC has been taken place there. Okay, it's a highly vascular tissue. Just remember it. Okay, bone is a rigid tissue. It is a part of skeleton. Okay, bones protect the various organs of the body, produce RBC, WBC. Okay, it store minerals like calcium, provide and protection and support to the body. It enables mobility. Okay, you can say that. And the shape and size of every bones is differ in different individuals. Okay, as you know, bones is composed of substance that form the skeleton of body. It also serves as storage area for calcium, and playing a very important role in calcium balance of the body. Okay, there are different hormones that helps in maintaining homeostasis of calcium, like parathormones. Okay, and calcitonin. These are two hormones which work as antagonists and maintenance helps in maintenance of a calcium homeostasis. Okay, these are all about these are all about bone. Bone is like a most durable, most strong material. They are composed of calcium salt, calcium phosphate. Okay, collagen. Just remember, collagen is the most abundant protein. Okay, it is very strong and gives bone flexibility. Just remember it. Okay, these are all about the bones. These are all about basic things, muscles and bones. Okay, these are the 3-4 terms. Just remember it: osteoblast, osteocyte, osteogenic, osteoclast, and bone lining cells. Osteoblast means they are bone forming cells. Okay, they synthesize and secrete ground substance that helps in formation of bone. Okay, they are found in the area of high metabolism within the bone. Osteoblast. Osteocyte is a bone cell. Okay, okay, which are made from osteoblast. They maintain healthy bone tissue by secreting enzymes, controlling the mineral content. These are the cell of bone. Osteoblast is a bone forming cell, like a stem cell. They form osteocyte. Osteogenic, if respond to trauma, fracture by giving rise to bone forming cell, bone destroying cell. Osteoclast is a bone absorbing. It's break down the bone tissue. It's break down the tissues. It break down the osteocytes. Okay, bone lining cell. These two terms are very important: osteoblast and osteoclast. Osteoblast is bone forming cell. Osteoclast is bone breaking cell. These are the two important term. Just remember it. Okay, there are two bones. Just remember it. Okay, long bones and a compact bone and spongy bones. Compact bone, outer layer, halvation system. Okay, halvation canals and spongy bone, ends of long bone and cartilage के बारे में पढ़ेंगे. We will study about it. Halvation canals are microscopic tubes. These are small microscopic tubes as you seen in the diagram, and they are like a tunnels as you seen in the diagram. Halvation canal and halvation system. As you see in halvation canals are microscopic tubes or tunnels in the compact bone. Okay, which contains capillaries and nerve fibers. Just remember it. Halvation canals are microscopic tubes, or they are tunnels in compact bone which contain capillaries and nerve fibers. As you heard, as there are some perforated canals. Okay, we also call perforated canals as workman's canal. Workman canal are the channel, okay, that helps with the, that assist with blood and nerve supply from the periosteum to halvation canal. They are just a perforating, they are just a connecting. Okay, they are just connecting channels. Just remember it. They just connecting periosteum bone covering to halvation canal. They are just working as a channel. Okay, connecting points. Periosteum, what is periosteum? These are two, three term. Periosteum, periosteum. Just remember. Is it visible? Periosteum in the diagram? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Periosteum is a membranous tissue that covers the surface of your bones. Okay. And the only area it does not cover are those which are surrounded by cartilage and tendon and ligaments attached to bone. Periosteum, just remember it, is a membranous tissue. It's covering of the bone. Just okay. Okay. And the Waxman canal connected periosteum to halvation system. Halvation canal. There is a osteons. Osteons are like a fundamental formation characteristics of a mature bone. They take shape during the process of bone remodeling and renewal. Okay. Canaliculi, there are some canalicles are present in the bone, as you see in the canaliculi. These are the canaliculi. Okay. If we study about one trabeculi, one cells, there are canaliculi are present. Okay, canaliculi is a small canal, okay, like a small duct or passageway in the body, like it is a small channel, okay, between the lacuna of a bone. They are has in connection of a one part to another part of the bone. Okay, there are different kind of cells, as you seen. We divide the bone into two parts. One is epiphysis, sorry, three parts. One is epiphysis, second one is metaphysis and diaphysis. Diaphysis is a long part of the bone. Okay, epiphysis is the end part of the bone. Epiphysis end part of bone, and diaphysis is long shaft of the bone. Wait. Okay. We divide part into two parts, epiphysis and epiphysis and diaphysis. Epiphysis is the long end part of the bone, and diaphysis is the shove of it. Diaphysis is long shaft of the bone. Okay. There are two periosteum. Periosteum is the outer covering of the body. Endosteum is the internal part of the body. Okay. There are some cartilage, articular cartilage present on the surface of a bone that helps in articulation. Okay. And there is a part of internal part of bones. We study about there is a compact bone and spongy bones. Okay. There is a halvation canal and workman canal are present along with blood vessels and nerve fibers. As I told you, bones are highly vascular and bones is living tissue. Okay. And we divide, there are three main type of bones cell are present in mainly three type of bone cells are present. One is osteoblast, one is osteocyte, one is osteoclast. Osteoblast, B for blast, B for formation. Just remember it, bone formation cells. Osteocyte have seen mineral concentration. They have seen maintain mineral concentration. Just remember it. And osteoclast is bone breaking cell. Just remember bone reabsorption. You can say that bone reabsorption. Okay. Osteoblast, you can say that these are responsible for mineralization of bones. Okay, osteocyte are the longest living bone cells. Osteoclast are the giant cell that reabsorbs bone. Okay, helps in formation of new bones. These are all about osteoclast. Okay, and then further divide bone into two parts: compact bone and spongy bones. Compact bone, we also compact bone cortical bones. Okay, they form the hard external layer of all bones. Okay, just remember it. An example of compact bone is long bones of arm and legs. Okay, just remember. And spongy bone, we also spongy bone as cancellous. Okay, cancellous bone. Okay, yeah, trabecular bone. It varies as its name defines. Spongy bone means there are some spoons. Okay, they are very poor. They are different. Sorry, there is a very porous kind of bone. Okay, it is highly vascularized. It contains red bone marrow. Just remember, red bone marrow present in spongy bone. Okay, mainly spongy bone present at the end of epiphysis. As you seen, there are some sponges kind of material. There are some porous. As spongy bone mainly present at the end of bone and in the vertebrae. Okay. There are different kind of joints are the present. There are different kind of bones are present. One is long bones, flat bones, short bones, irregular bones. We study about it. Okay, and long bones are longer, as we already told you. Long bones are longer than wides. They are primarily compact bones. Long bones are example of long bone: thigh, leg, arms, forearms. Longest, yes, anybody? Longest bone of human body is, anybody can tell me what is the longest bone of human body?
Femur bone.
Femur bone. And femur is present. Where is the femur present?
Near the thighs.
Is a thigh bone. Okay, it's not a near, it's a thigh. We also call femur as thigh bone. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
They are short bones. Short bones are shaped roughly like a cube. Okay. Their short bones are mainly present in wrist, hand, and feet. Short bones are includes bone of wrist, ankle, and the smallest bone is, okay. Longest bone is femur. Smallest bone is, name of smallest bone.
The stapes in the ear.
Steps in the ear. Okay. Okay, these are the small short bones are present in carpals and tarsals. Flat bones, they are mainly flat, they are curved. Okay, they have some protection and provision of border surfaces for muscular attachment. Okay, like your skull bone is are flat bones: occipital, parietal, frontal, nasal. Okay, one is lacrimal, vomer. Your sternum also flat bone, ribs also, hip bone also, oral example of flat bones you can have. Okay, irregular bones, they don't have a definite shape. They do not fall into other any category. They do not have uniform shape. They present in the cancellous bone, spongy bone. Okay, and examples of irregular bone like a lower jaw, okay, sacrum. These are all about irregular bones. Okay, there are some term in. Okay, and red bone marrow and yellow bone marrow. Red bone marrow and yellow bone marrow is the formation of RBC. Formation of RBC we call as hematopoiesis. Hemato is related to, always related to blood, and poiesis is always related to formation. Okay. And in infants, I already told you, in infants, rat bone marrow is found in the bone cavity, and with age, it is replaced by yellow marrow for the fat stores. Okay. In adults, rat marrow is limited to the spongy bone in the skull, ribs, sternum, clavicle, vertebrae, pelvis, and rat bone marrow helps in the formation of RBC, WBC, and blood platelet. Can anybody tell me the difference between these three terms, RBC, WBC, and blood platelet, with their role? Where we use, what are the function of RBC, WBC, and blood platelet in the human body?
Ma'am, the red blood corpuscles will be formed in the liver and they'll decay in the spleen, which is called as the graveyard. And they contain hemoglobin, which will provide the red color to the blood. Their function is to form oxyhemoglobin and release the oxygen in the tissues. And they'll have the carboxyhemoglobin, where they'll release the carbon dioxide in the lungs, which is expired. And white blood cells, they will fight against the antigens. So they act as a defense mechanism. The blood platelets, they will help in anticoagulation process.
They helps in coagulation of the
Coagulation
blood,
process, yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. They helps in coagulation of blood by producing clotting factors in the blood. Okay. All the clotting factors are present in the blood as in an inactive form. When we get the injury, they will get active and that helps in coagulation process. Okay. These are the some basic function of RBC, WBC, and blood platelets. Main function of okay. And is nucleus is present in RBC?
No, ma'am, it's a non-nucleated cell.
It's a non-nucleated. Okay. If we have to extract DNA from the blood cell, then which kind of a cell we will use? RBC, WBC, or blood platelet? If we want to extract DNA from blood cell, which kind of cell we will use? Just think about it and give me the answer. If you want to extract DNA, if you want to run gel, if you want to run check the protein level, okay, then which kind of cells, blood cell you will use at the place of criminal? At what kind, how will you do DNA extraction? Which kind of cell you will use for DNA extraction?
Ma'am, maybe WBC cells, because they'll contain the nucleus.
Why not blood platelets?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Because RBC and blood platelets both are non-nucleated. Just remember it. Okay.
Yes.
Both are non-nucleated. We use white blood cell because they have nucleus. We further divide white blood cell into two parts. Granulocyte, agranulocyte, on the basis of granules. Okay, if they have granules, they have granulocyte. If they do not have granules, we call it agranulocytes. Okay, eosinophil, basophil, neutrophil, lymphocyte, monocyte, these are the example of white blood cell. They have different, they perform different function at different sites. Eosinophils, allergic, eosinophils, inflammatory reactions, okay, parasitic infection, they will get high. A lymphocytes, B lymphocyte and T lymphocyte helps in body immune response. One is responsible for the cell mediated response, one is humoral immunity. B lymphocytes play important role in immunity response, and T cell play important role in cell mediated response. Okay, the different kind of blood cells which play a very important role in the immune system. Blood platelet have coagulation, and RBC played very important role in the oxygen transportation. Okay, it carries red hemoglobin, which imparts red color to the blood and helps in the transportation of oxygen to tissue and from tissue to and the release of carbon dioxide from tissue to outside the body. Okay. These are all about RBC, red bone marrow. And cartilage can mostly contains water, no blood vessel, no nerve, is very tough and resistant. Okay. New cartilage we can made from chondroblast. Same term are used for cartilage, We use osteotomy is related to bone and chondro related to cartilage. Okay, we use osteoblast, bone forming cell. We use chondroblast, new cartilage forming cell. Okay, and same term we will use chondroclast. Chondroclast is a bone cartilage breaking cell. Okay, these are just about bone normal cells. Oh, sorry, cartilage cell. There are different kind of cartilage are present in the human body. Hyaline cartilage, these are the fine collagens. Okay, most abundant. They are found in articular cartilage, costal cartilage. Okay, they are present in cartilage. They are present in nasal cartilage. Elastic cartilage, they are similar to hyaline. They are more elastic fibers. Okay, and they're found in sternal ear and epiglottic. Fibrocartilage, these are rows of chondrocytes. They are found in invertebral disc and pubic symphysis. There are different kind of fractures. Fractures are present in the body, like a green stick plate, like a small fracture. Spiral, like there is a small long cut. Okay, communicated like a large, small multiple breaks. Transfer is like a transfer between the two bones. Compound is like a small large break, and two bones get fractured. Okay, these are the small fractures based on the diagram of X-ray recognition, and they are the function of. Then now we are going to explain the function of what happened. Okay, before going to repairing the sequence, we will explain. I am going to explain the function of bone. Function of bones helps in shape,